natural. Pressure airflow sweeps steadily across the outdoors. Calibration grid, continuous aerodynamic turbulence shears along the sharp metallic edge of the heavy steel grating. You monitor the microbarometric pressure fluctuations on the digital micromanometer interface. My knuckles rest against the cold galvanized iron anchor clamp of the secondary microphone stand. The current shifts within the copper core, an idle tension building on the floor. We watch the static signal start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning sky. Dancing boundaries balance the cold physical friction of our private sector tonight. Every complex wind velocity gradient corrects within this exposed grain. Assembling now. The slow deflection of the structural support column governs our physical position in space. A perfect boundary where the heavy stone foundation shields our fragile frame. A faint scent of damp earth and oxidizing lighting drips from the perimeter boundary fence. The internal copper coils of the weatherproof sensor housing retain the day's heavy static charge. Your fingers remain absolutely precise as you secure the primary ground terminal wiring block. We find a rare mechanical stability deep inside the central block infrastructure road. The current shifts within the copper core, an idle tension building on the floor. We watch the static signal start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning sky. Hands and boundaries balance the cold physical friction Foundation block remains locked against the sudden temperature drop outside. A thin layer of condensation begins to form on the exposed steel structural bolts. Our silent transmission continues as the local electrical grid maintains its low load. We embrace the thick absolute silence of the empty landscape before the day begins to wake.
The heavy aluminum support frame accumulates a uniform layer of fine mist in the dark. A constant microscopic water boundary layer settles slowly down the dry galvanized housing scene. You monitor the steady moisture deflection on the digital industrial hygromer interface screen. My knuckles rest against the cold steel protective plate of the primary mechanical drive unit.
The current shifts within the copper core, an idle tension building on the floor. We watch the static signal start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning sky. Within this, the slow accumulation of the surface to governs our physical position in space. A perfect boundary where the thick stone conduit shelters our fragile frame. Sharp odor of cold metallic scale and wet condensation drifts from the air intake port. The internal copper coils of the auxiliary ventilation motor retain the day's heavy load. Your fingers remain absolutely precise as you secure the secondary safety wiring clamp. We find a rare mechanical stability deep inside the central rock infrastructure road. The current shifts within the copper core, an idle tension building on the floor. We watch the static signal start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning sky. Our transition bell is the wet mechanical friction of a private sector night. Every complex pressure differential corrects within it. Raw concrete condenser chamber, now the slow accumulation of the surface to the display a sudden drop in the grid line. I sink directly into the wide negative space between the stereo separating notes. There is no poetic closure waiting for us inside these dark retaining walls. Only the continuous physical movement of the moisture settling on the concrete bed. The industrial paraffin cylinder melts slowly against the heat-resistant ceramic mounting base. A constant thermal conduction liquefies a solid wax boundary along the charred cotton wick. You monitor the steady temperature deflection metrics on the digital thermocool sensor system. My knuckles rest against the cold steel protective enclosure of the primary vacuum chamber. The current shifts within the copper core, an idle tension building on the floor. We watch the static signal start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning sky. Phase transitions balance the thermal friction of our private sector tonight. Every complex energy gradient corrects within this isolated dark laboratory now. The slow degradation of the carbonized strand governs our physical position in space. A perfect boundary where the thick stone conduit shelters our fragile frames. Sweat of vaporized hydrocarbon and dry alkaline sealant drifts from the exhaust port. The internal copper inductors of the auxiliary heating module retain the day's heavy load. Your fingers remain absolutely precise as you calibrate the secondary nitrogen control line. We find a rare mechanical stability deep inside the central block infrastructure row. The current shifts within the copper core, an idle tension building on the floor. We watch the static signal start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning sky. Transition balance the thermal friction of our private sector tonight. Every complex energy gradient corrects within this isolated dark laboratory now. Got to lead it, got to lead it, got to lead it, got to. The slow degradation of the carbonized strand governs our physical position in space. A perfect boundary where the thick stone conduit shelters our fragile frames.
pressure indicators on the intake manifold display a sudden drop in the grid line. I sink directly into the wide negative space between the stereo separation nodes. There is no poetic closure waiting for us inside these dark engineering structures. Only the continuous physical movement of the fluid settling on the concrete bed. Testing vault remains locked against the sudden temperature drop outside. A thin layer of condensation begins to form on the exposed steel structural bolts. Our silent transmission continues as the local electrical grid maintains its low load. We embrace the thick absolute silence of the empty landscape before the day begins to wake.
The soft timber stack absorbs the heavier mystery moisture across the dark storage yard. A slow volume track expansion deforms the cellular grain of the spruce wood layer steadily. You record the gradual physical density displacement on the digital moisture tester system. My knuckles rest against the cold vulcanized rubber support pad of the primary stacking frame. The current shifts within the copper core, an idle tension building on the floor. We watch a static signal start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning skies. Moisture absorption balances the heavy compression of our private sector tonight. Every complex physical load distribution corrects within this damn timber alignment now. The slow expansion of the fibrous softwood block governs our physical position in space. A perfect boundary where the thick concrete barrier protects our fragile frame. A faint center of sap cellulose and wet structural bark drifts from stacking basin. The internal copper coils of the auxiliary telemetry module retain the day's heavy static load. Your finger remain absolutely precise as you secure the secondary strain gauge anchor bolt. We find a rare mechanical stability deep inside the central block infrastructure. structural. The current shifts within the copper core, an idle tension building on the floor. We watch the static signal start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning skies. Moisture absorption, boundless hips, the heavy compression of our private sector tonight. Every complex physical load distribution corrects within this damn timber alignment now. The slow expansion of the fibrous softwood block governs our physical position in space. It's a perfect boundary where the thick concrete barrier protects our fragile frame. Solvent diffuses slowly within the borosilicate glass beaker on the hot plate. A constant molecular dispersion expands the amber liquid boundary layer along the porous filter membrane. You monitor the gradual concentration gradient curve on the digital spectrophotometer screen. My knuckles rest against the cold protective aluminum shield of the primary heating assembly. The current shifts within the copper core, an idle tension building on the floor. We watch the static signal start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning sky. Thermal gradients balance the microscopic friction of our private sector tonight. Every complex salute distribution corrects within this dark laboratory chamber now. The slow mass transfer of the liquid phase governs our physical position in space. A perfect boundary where the thick concrete barrier protects our fragile frame. chemical resin, and heat of metallic oxide drifts from the element surface. The internal winding cores of the auxiliary magnetic stirrer retain the day's heavy inductive load. Your fingers remain absolutely precise as you secure the secondary temperature pro-wiring clamp. We find a rare mechanical stability deep inside the central block infrastructure. The current shifts within the copper core, an idle tension building on the floor. We watch the static signal start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning skies. Thermal gradients balance the microscopic friction of our private sector tonight. Ooh, every complex salute distribution corrects within this dark laboratory chamber now. The slow mass transfer of the liquid phase governs our physical position in space. A perfect boundary where the thick concrete barrier protects our fragile frames. The heavy woolen yarn bundle deforms slowly under the constant tension of the testing carriage. A micro-frictional sliding resistance accumulates along the crimped fibers of the primary test strand. You monitor the gradual load cell displacement curve on the digital tensiometer dashboard screen. My knuckles rest against the cold steel protective casing of the primary mechanical drive screw. The current shifts within the copper core, an idle tension building on the floor. We watch the static signal start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning skies. Ooh, tensile resistance balance the heavy friction of our private sector tonight. Every complex structural load distribution corrects within this raw tester facility now. The slow elongation of the dense yarn bundle governs our physical passion in space. maintain the day's heavy load. Your fingers remain absolutely precise as you calibrate the secondary strain gauge alignment bolt. We find a rare mechanical stability deep inside the central block infrastructure road. The current shifts within the copper core, an idle tension building on the floor. We watch the static signals start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning skies. Tensile resistance balance the heavy friction of our private sector tonight. Every complex structure, low distribution corrects within this raw testing facility now. The slow elongation of the dense yawn bundle governs our physical position in space. A perfect boundary where the thick concrete structure shelters our fragile frames.
Tension indicators on the diagnostic console display a sudden drop to the baseline. I sink directly into the wide negative space between the stereo balance nodes. There is no poetic closure waiting for us inside these dark engineering cavities. Yeah. Only the continuous physical movement of the mechanical components cooling in the frame.
The heavy copper bus bar terminal expands slowly under the constant high current load of the grid. A minute atomic lattice displacement generates a micro-frictional thermal stress along the conductor plate. You measure the steady contact resistance deflection on the digital micrometer monitor system. My knuckles rest against the cold steel protective shielding of the primary power distribution frame. The current shifts within the copper core, an idle tension building on the floor. We watch the static signals start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning sky. Electrothermal forces balance the
our private sector tonight. Every complex charge distribution corrects within this dark distribution enclosure now. The slow contraction of the heated copper joint governs our physical position in space. A perfect boundary where the thick concrete barrier protects our fragile frame. Faint scent of dry terminal, resin and heated electrical grease drifts from the cabinet joints. The internal copper coils of the auxiliary shunt transformer retain the day's heavy inductive load. Your fingers remain absolutely precise as you secure the secondary insulated bus bar mounting bolts. We find a rare mechanical stability deep inside the central block infrastructure. The current shifts within the copper core, an idle tension building on the floor. We watch the static signals start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning skies. Forces balance the heavy friction of our private sector tonight. Every complex charge distribution corrects within this dark distribution enclosure now. The slow contraction of the heated copper joint governs our physical position in space. A perfect boundary where the concrete barrier protects our fragile frame. The sealed oscillation chamber stabilizes a high voltage electrostatic charge distribution overnight. A constant dielectric loss generates a micro frictional thermal vibration across a solid resin plate. You track the continuous capacitance displacement metrics on the digital electrometer monitor screen.
knuckles rest against the cold bronze chassis edge of the primary electrical shielding unit. The current shifts within the copper core, an auto tension building on the floor. Watch the static signal start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning sky. Dialectic boundaries balance the electrical friction of our private sector tonight. Every complex electrostatic gradient corrects within this fossilized insulation chamber now. The slow molecular expansion of the resin polymer governs our physical position in space. A perfect boundary where the thick stone enclosure shields our fragile frames. A faint scent of dry carbon dust and heated composite panel drifts from the terminal block. The internal copper inductors of the internal copper inductors, auxiliary filter assembly retain the day's heavy inductive load. Your finger remain absolutely precise as you adjust the secondary ground potential wiring. Hey. We find a rare mechanical stability deep inside the central block infrastructure road. The current shifts within the copper core, an auto tension building on the floor. We watch the static signal start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning sky. Boundaries balance the electrical friction of a private sector tonight. Every complex electrostatic gradient corrects within this fossilized insulation chamber now. The slow molecular expansion of the resin polymer governs our physical position in space. Boundary where the thick stone enclosure shields our fragile frames. sealed refractory liner cools slowly against the heavy structural steel support casing. A minute molecular contraction generates a microfrictional displacement along the brick joints. You track the steady residual heat dissipation on the digital parameter interface monitoring panel. My knuckles rest against the cold, protect the zinc plating of the primary exhaust damper lock. The current shifts within the copper core, an idle tension building on the floor. We watch the static signals start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning sky. Thermal balance correct the internal tension of our private sector tonight. Every complex energy gradient stabilizes within this sun-refined, cooling hearth chamber now. Slow contraction of the dense ceramic block governs our physical position in space. A perfect boundary where the thick stone enclosure shields our fragile frames. Scent of dry mineral ash and scorched insulation compound drifts from the hatch frame. The internal copper inductors of the auxiliary thermochemical probe retain the day's heavy load. Your fingers remain absolutely precise as you calibrate the secondary nitrogen blanketing valve. We find around mechanical stability deep inside the central block infrastructure. Whoa. The current shifts within the copper core, an idle tension building on the floor. We watch the static signals start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning sky. Thermal balance is correct the internal tension of our private sector tonight. Every complex energy gradient stabilizes within this unrefined, cooling heart chamber now. The slow contraction of the dense ceramic block governs our physical position in space. A perfect boundary where the thick stone enclosure shields our fragile frame. slowly against the micro grooves of the neoprene floor grid. A minute share of force deforms the elastomer surface alignment along the contact perimeter plane. You monitor the continuous pressure distribution curves on the digital tactile sensor display. My knuckles rest against the cold steel railing structure of the primary reach the isolation room. The current shifts within the copper core, and idle tension building on the floor. We watch the static signal start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning sky. Friction, no resistance, balance the heavy compression of our private sector tonight. Every complex pressure gradient corrects within this sealed dampening enclosure now. The slow deflection of the elastomer panel governs our physical position in space, a perfect boundary where the thick concrete barrier protects our fragile frames. Of dry carbon compound and weathered rubber coating drips from the floor seam. The internal copper coils of the auxiliary vibration monitor retain the day's heavy inductive load. Your fingers remain absolutely precise as you secure the secondary signal transducer cable clamp. We find a rare mechanical stability deep inside the central block infrastructure road. The current shifts within the copper core, and idle tension building on the floor. We watch the static signal start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning sky. Friction, no resistance, balance the heavy compression of our private sector tonight. Every complex pressure gradient corrects within this sealed dampening enclosure now. The slow deflection of the elastomer panel governs our physical position in space, a perfect boundary where the thick concrete barrier protects our fragile frames. Indicators on the displacement terminal display a sudden drop to zero. I sink directly into the wide negative space between the stereo separation nodes. There is no poetic closure waiting for us inside these dark engineering structures. Only the continuous physical movement of the components cooling in the metal frame. The current shifts within the action of the elastomer panel governs our physical position in space. A perfect boundary where the thick concrete barrier protects our fragile frames.
The porous polyurethane block rises slowly within the seal, low pressure fluid chamber tonight. A minute buoyancy differential deforms the cellular matrix along the primary metal support frame. You trace the steady volume displacement variables on the digital differential thermometer screen. Knuckles rest against the cold anodized aluminum housing of the secondary density logging unit. The current shifts within the copper core, the narrow tension building on the floor. We watch the static signal start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning sky. Dynamic boundaries balance the micro frictional tension of our private sector tonight. Every complex density distribution corrects within this raw industrial laboratory mind. Now, the slow buoyancy displacement of the porous foam block governs our physical position in space. Stone enclosure shields our fragile frames. A faint scent of dry polymer resin and heated circuit sealant drifts from the lower casing vent. The internal copper inductors of the auxiliary pressure regulator retain the day's heavy load. Fingers remain absolutely precise as you secure the secondary transducer grounding clamp. We find a rare mechanical stability deep inside the central block infrastructure. The current shifts within the copper core, and idle tension building on the floor. Watch the static signal start to rise beneath the gray expanse of morning skies. Hydrodynamic boundaries balance the micro frictional tension of our private sector tonight. Every complex density distribution corrects within this raw industrial laboratory. See displacement of the porous foam block governs our physical position in space. A perfect boundary where the thick stone enclosure shields our fragile frames. Fragile frames. Pressure indicators on the density telemetry dock display a sudden drop to zero.
Passing directly into the wide negative space between the stereo separation nodes. There is no poetic closure waiting for us inside these cold outdoor testing yards. Only the continuous physical movement of the fluid particles settling on the concrete pad.